Guys, welcome to the channel, and in this video we're gonna go over why I drive 30-year-old BMWs as daily drivers, and maybe why you should too. So guys, honestly, in this world of subscription-based heated seats, touchscreens, iPads glued to the dashboards, it feels like everything is going subscription and insane. Analog era might be the most sane thing ever right now. I get asked all the time, why do I drive 30-year-old BMWs? Aren't they money pits? Well, my 1998 sedan, that's my daily driver, has 250,000 miles on it, and thing is dead reliable. Everything still works, rides great, fun to drive. The station wagon, we started the video, and that has like 240,000 or something like that miles. My E28 in the garage, that thing has over 200,000 miles. And then there is one more E28 and one E12, and both of them have 250,000 miles. They all run, they all drive great, they're all stupid reliable, and shockingly they're easy to work on. Like, things still work really well on them, and they're very easy to get parts for. The parts are actually dime a dozen. They are not expensive to maintain, and they're very simple to work on as long as you know what you're doing and somewhat mechanically inclined. I mean, realistically, they're not even project cars. I mean, matter of fact, they're probably the most reliable cars that I've ever owned, and I've owned hundreds of different cars. I worked on pretty much all of the makes and manufacturers, Japanese, American, German cars, all types of stuff. And like, realistically, like, that golden era of BMW from like 90s to early 2000s, in my opinion, is my favorite one to work on. And the most reliable and bulletproof cars, they were just built well. They were built completely to a different standard. I mean, I have yet to see a E39 BMW with a cracked dash, and like I said, but like, two of mine have 250,000 miles on them. Here's a quick look under the hood of my 240,000 mile station wagon, and I mean, like, look how easily everything's accessible. Like, literally, yeah, like sometimes you need to, let's say, remove airbags to get to your alternator or whatnot, but everything's very easily accessible. The radiator fan is actually super easy to get to. The shroud is super easy to take off. Like, everything actually makes sense if you just slow down and think about it. But yeah, it's plenty of room to work on. Very good access. Everything kind of makes sense if you slow down and think about it. Yes, sometimes it will require take few more components out to get to something, but usually that will save you a lot more time than trying to, wiggle something out without removing an extra component. Let's start this bad boy up. Again, 230,000 miles. I think I might have said 240, but it's a little more than, little bit less. But I mean, you got ice cold AC, still works. Heated seats, still work. Stereo, even though it's pixelated, it still works. Everything works great on it. I mean, the clutch is awesome, the transmission is great. Like, the interior is actually held up pretty well for being nearly 30 years old and having as many miles. So overall, super nice place to be in. And I mean, you can't even compare the build quality. Like, there is no rattles, no weird noises anywhere. Like, everything is just super steady, and everything just designed to hold up. And here's the sedan. Think about it. Almost 250,000 miles. Most modern cars programmed to feel disposable after 100. But hey, everything's still there. Everything still works. AC is ice cold. It is not a peasant configuration, so it has privacy screens, and even power privacy screens still retracts perfectly. Ride quality is still phenomenal. I mean, sure, it will need new shocks and suspension refresh, but what car wouldn't when it's been to the moon and back? I'll take that over car payment any day. Driving a modern car feels like driving a computer. If anything goes wrong, you're gonna need a freaking IT degree just to, fix it or troubleshoot it. Nope, not on E39. Everything's still analog, and look, I even got a phone with a cord. When have you seen that last time? People think driving an old car is gonna be like analog and primitive, but with E39s, that's definitely not the case. I mean, if you want a little bit more tech, boom, sweet Android, wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto stereo, plug and play pretty much. And just look at the quality of the interiors, guys. So this is the third one I'm showing you. Look at that. Just no cracks. They held up so well. And this is the only automatic one out of all of them. So this one is a cruiser. It's actually been my daily driver for over 4 years. So let's talk about the costs of operating and owning an old E39. So first, try not to buy a complete hoopty. Try to buy something that's actually been somewhat maintained. Like when I bought this wagon 4 years ago, it came in with just a stack of records. Stack. I mean, the thing's been taken care of, right? And you could tell just by the way the body looks on it. But what do they have to do in 4 years? So in 4 years, never left me stranded, ever. I had slight vibration, which I actually narrowed down, and I recorded, I think, a video about it. It was actually one broken fin on a coolant fan. So I replaced coolant fan. I did your usual spark plugs, coolant system. I think 5 oil changes, 1 set of tires, Android stereo. What else did I do to this thing? Yeah, that's pretty much it. It is due for suspension refresh, of course. You know, it's almost 30 years old, so there's a little bit, you know, it's like just rattles and stuff like that in the front suspension, and both front shocks are leaking. So I did order a whole new set from FCP Euro to get it all taken care of. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing really crucial. It never left me stranded whatsoever. I drive this thing 200 plus miles each way for my road trips to go visit family at least once a month. I drive to work and back. My commute is over 30 miles. I never worry about it not making it. It's stupid reliable. Same thing with the sedan over there. Sedan is my mainly work car. I don't drive it as much in the summer just because it's not tinted, and this one has a ceramic tint and it's super cool in summer, and it gets to over 100 degrees in summer. Like right now it's a little over 90, so it's not summer yet, but once the summer hits, 100% every single day it's going to be this car over here. So yeah, as far as the maintenance, I mean, realistically, even if you put retail prices for everything, I'm like, I don't know, $1,000 into the parts in 4 years, and that's including all of the new suspension components, which do have lifetime warranty from FCP Euro. Totally forgot to add, I did replace the shocks on it in the trunk. They were getting weak, but again, that's any car. I've replaced more shocks on Toyotas and Hondas than I did on BMWs, I'll tell you that. At the end of the day, guys, driving should not be a chore, and honestly, I would rather maintain a legend than driving an appliance. And I know if you're a real car enthusiast, you will agree with me. It doesn't even have to be old BMW, just old BMW is what I do. But there's plenty of people with old Volkswagen and Mercedes products that also had really good luck. Again, I never had as good of a luck with the newer ones as I did with the older ones, but to each its own. So to summarize, guys, those cars were built to last, and if you treat them right, they'll give you a 250,000 miles plus of character that brand new car just can't replicate. Thank you for watching. If you're still daily driving something from 90s, let me know in comments. What's your odometer reading? I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.